Here we are. I turned my microphone on for the video, guys. Maybe I'm just going to give this a little adjustment poo here. Yeah, oh, geez, that was shaky there. What the hell happened? This floor is not the most level floor in the universe over here. Yeah. So, anyway, we're here. We're live. We're here. And we are recording, and we have a new music system going. Yeah. I just noticed that today. I came in, music was playing, great for my audience, not the audience of all the 4680Q radio people. You're back in the music business here, and that was nice to see when I came in. It was a nice surprise. We're all back in the music world as well. So, what do we have to talk about today on this finally Friday, August 29th? We're winding it down. A couple more days left. We're in September. And I'm kind of glad, I'm kind of glad though. Summer's kind of goofy now. You get these hot days and cool nights, and it's a great time of year, really, when we get into the fall and we've shed those hot, humid days and nights. Although they're nice to sit outside as well. What do we got here today on finally a Friday? Well, we got lots to talk about, that's for sure. There's a ton of stuff going on. First, I'm going to talk about my sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. Got to talk about them, right? They pay the bills. Hey, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting and Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Listen, we're winding it down here. You're going to start thinking about the cold coming. You're going to start thinking about snow tires. You're going to start thinking about your car and making sure it runs right. Well, you take it to Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. You let Ken Hunter throw it on his equipment. Make sure you're running all right. And I got an itchy nose again. Now, does that mean you're going to get money or something? I always have that. And you let them check out your car. You want to make sure your car is running tip top. Everything's cool. And your car's running right. Let's face it, you want a tune-up, you want your brakes safe, you want everything ready for the winter so you don't break down in the middle of the winter. That's miserable, believe me. And our winters aren't like normal winters or in other places. They're kind of miserable. We get that rain and cold, and if you get broke down, you're out in this miserable weather waiting for the CAA guy or whatever you have there. And you know what? This camera's still a little bit crooked. I'm going to give it a little, there you go. There, that's it. All righty, now we're looking good. And you want to make sure that your car's running right and that you don't get caught out in the misery of the world. So you go to Wild Bill's. He's going to take care of you, do everything he has to do to fix your car so it's running tip top, and you are going to be happy. Ken Hunter is the proprietor. They also have a body shop. You get a fender bender or a major collision, guess what? He's going to put your car back in showroom condition, and he's going to make sure that you're out there looking like $1 million. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop on Oakwood Drive next to the Kia dealership. Check it out today and go see Ken if you have any problems with your car. Tell him Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you, and everything will be hunky donkey dinky. Okay, so it looks like a nice day today. It's going to be a beauty day. We're partly cloudy, and God, it was so 74 degrees when I left. Just a nice day. Beautiful summer day. We're not out of summer yet. We're still in summer, believe it or not. That's right. Now, on a sad note, I want to say that I'm really sad to hear Geppino passed away on August 28th at the age of 93. Geppino was a fixture in the city, owner and founder of Geppino's Food Mart down on Lewis Avenue, a fixture for many, many years for every Italian in the city, and all the manja cakes, too. Everybody loved to go to Geppino's. I don't even have to mention his last name. Maybe people didn't even know his last name. He was so known as Geppino. His last name was Calabrese. His first name is enough for people to know who I'm talking about. People who knew his fresh Italian meats, the bacala, the special grape juice. Always my favorite. Who could forget walking in that door and smelling the delicious aroma of all the foods they had in there when you walk through it? It just brings back memories, and he's gone. And there was just a good a move at City Council. There was a mention of naming a park on Kitchener Street after Geppino. Yeah, Geppino Park, right there on Kitchener Street. There's a little park across from where the Kitchener Street School used to be and the arena, and by his store, of course. And he was such a big part of the city. Morris Villela recommended that they actually name this park after him, and I was like 1,000% behind it. Like I knew all his kids, Rosie, Big Phil, and Eats, and Joey's still around. You know, condolences to Joey. And Geppino lost his wife in 2008, and now he's passed on. And we're talking about icons in the city here. Like these are landmarks. These people are landmarks. They're not just like people. They're people come from out of town to go see Geppino. The people at Geppino's, all the people who ran him and his sons. It was more than a just a little store or a grocery store. It was a place where people met up and saw each other, and you know he served the finest Italian goods, cheeses and meats and everything else you could imagine in the city. So it's a loss. Um, yeah, condolences to the family. I guess if there's a funeral arrangements are by Morris and Son on Main Street with visitation on Sunday, September the 1st, from 1 to 4, with service to follow. Condolences to the Calabrese family, another icon in the city. He's left us, but he did leave a legacy that my generation will never forget, and the generation before me. I hope the city names the park in his honor. That would be fitting, and yeah, not too bad. And we had another shocker of a death here, and I mean not in the city, but just if you're a hockey fan, you'll know who I'm talking about. Johnny Hockey and his brother Matthew Gaudreau were killed while biking in New Jersey, hit by a drunk driver. This is unbelievable. And Johnny started his career when drafted by Calgary in the 2011 draft. Always a fan favorite. Johnny was a very good hockey player, loved by his teammates. He spent 9 years in Calgary before being obtained by the Columbus Blue Jackets. What a sad day in the Gaudreau family, of course, and in the hockey world for that matter. And for his sister, I mean, they were supposed to be in her wedding today in Philadelphia. Can you imagine? This is unbelievable. Johnny was a great, great hockey player to watch. He was always a fan favorite. He was always committed to his trade, and we lost another good one. And we'll talk more about it on Absolutely next Wednesday about Johnny Gaudreau. But yeah, what a shocker to see that too. Like unbelievable. Yeah, 31 years old or something too. He's just a crazy drunk driver. Hmm. Anyway, R.I.P. to the Calabrese family. R.I.P. to the Gaudreau family, and the condolences from me and millions of people. Thousands of people in Niagara Falls, of course, for Geppino, and millions of people around the world who love Johnny Hockey as hockey fans that they were. And like I say, we'll do a little bit more about that on next Wednesday on Absolutely when we have to do that show, our hockey show. Now, I was reading a few things here. I just get through a few things here, and I don't know what this is all about. And I could have well been dreaming because I saw it late last night. But I saw a post on Facebook with this little girl picking up garbage on Queen Street. I think Mayor Jim posted it. There's a little girl standing in front of a clear garbage bag with trash in it, saying something like, "It's good to see our kids taking ownership of cleaning up our beautiful city." Something like that. Now I looked at this and I'm scratching my head like, seriously? I think the post was removed. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. I would imagine there were some pretty harsh comments on that one. I don't, like I really, but imagine the mayor who is in charge of staff, probably about 550 people, permanent city workers, not counting seasonal hires, being happy with what looks like a 5 to 6 year old little girl cleaning up litter on Queen Street, possibly containing feces and needles and everything else. And he thinks this is a good thing? I just don't get it. Me personally, I thought it was disgusting. And the post, like I say, could have been removed. To me, this is kind of an embarrassment, right? I would have gone to the girl, thanked her, and sent her home. You little girl, you don't have to do that, little girl. We have city people who are going to do that. You know, Thank you very much for your effort and your citizenship. But at the end of the day, I mean, and then you dispatch a crew to clean up the mess totally. What a shame the city is. They have a little girl picking up garbage. That right there is a sign of how the city has fallen. Children having to pick up garbage on the streets. And that's where City Hall is located. It was on Queen Street. I I don't know. Call me crazy. Am I just a whiner and a complainer? Tell me I am, please, because this just blows my mind. I'm not sure who the parents are, but I applaud them for trying to teach their little girl a lesson in pride for the city. We talk about pride. That's pride. I'm sure she didn't undertake this task herself. I mean, she didn't just walk down Queen Street and start picking up garbage. Um, you know, they're wanting what every citizen wants: a clean city, a safe city, and good roads. Three things that really make people happy. For the mayor to be delighted that this child has to do what he won't demand his staff to do, well, I don't know. That kind of shows you what kind of mess this city is in. I mean, that picture right there should go to every department head and tell them to get their act together. Maybe they'll be embarrassed too that a child has to do their work because they won't do it or they can't do it. One or the other. I mean, why aren't they doing it? 2 years to election day. Choose wisely. And maybe I'm overreacting to this. And it's supposed to be a cutesy tootsie photo of a little girl picking up garbage. I mean, child labor laws. But I just don't understand it all. And I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And maybe it's just me. But I don't see it. Now I'm going to jump over here. I have one little thing here, and then I'm going to jump over to another little item because I always put these videos on YouTube, and sometimes I get people commenting. Let's see if I can find these comments. Yeah, we'll jump over to the comments here because we're kind of talking about the city anyway, and that's what we were talking about yesterday. So I had a couple of good comments on yesterday's show about the $350,000 of our money the city's going to allow us to spend. Yes, they're going to allow us to have a say in spending our own money. How sweet. And yeah, and I was having a good laugh yesterday, believe me, on this whole thing. But one comment from @PennyBrookify, who gave this comment, said the city can't afford to do any of these recreation items when they struggle to cover the basics you mentioned, such as clean streets. How many kilometers of trails do we need? And then there's the cost to maintain them over the years. Ridiculous is a good word, Mr. Lemire. I agree. And another comment from the same person was shade structure. Used to be called a tree with a smiley face, and those were free. So I'm not sure who exactly this is, but a couple of really good comments, And if you really go through the list, you'll appreciate what @PennyBrookify means. And she is correct. The $350,000, though, is really pocket change in the big scheme of a $170 million budget. It still should be spent wisely on something that benefits the whole city, not just the few that these amenities are directed at. Seriously, how many people do you think will be sitting down playing chess at a $5,000 chess table? Or using a cricket practice at $50,000? Or a frisbee golf basket at $1,000 per basket? And I don't think the city council made these up. I think people submitted them. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking about this in retrospect of yesterday's show. It's probably sent in by people, but our responsibility as taxpayers right here and right now is to let council know we are not going to blow the 350 grand on nonsense. I mean, everybody should go in there, take that little thing and put none of the above, not a dime towards any of this stuff. I mean, as citizens and as taxpayers, we're sitting here telling council to use our money wisely, to spend our money wisely. We don't want them to waste our tax dollars. Yet they send out this poll. People are going to answer that they're okay with spending money on this crap. I mean, if we're going to tell them to be responsible, shouldn't we be responsible? So, anybody who submitted these, congratulations. But city council or whoever put this list together should have the common sense and logic to say, no, that's not a good idea. No, that's not a good idea to weed these out. Okay. So, what they've done is they put it out there for us to do that. They're going to leave the responsibility to us to say no. And we're going to set a good example, right, everyone? We're going to set a good example by saying no. Take that $350,000 and spend it on something good. That's our responsibility when they throw money at us like this to spend. Here, let's see how responsible you are. Because you know what? If anybody criticizes this, well, that's what the people wanted. Because now they've got an out. But if everybody just says no, now you've got to decide what you want to spend this money on, and we're going to be able to tell you what we think of your decision. You know, it's really, really important we get involved, and we're involved in all this stuff. And we really, really have to send a message to city council about this. And, you know, if we're going to ask them to be responsible, we have to be responsible as citizens. So when we get a chance like this to tell them what we think, it's remiss of us not to. We're shirking our duty as taxpayers. So get in there. I mean, I really, didn't see one suggestion that we spend it on roads, maybe fixing up some roads, or perhaps supporting the junior A hockey team or other minor sports leagues. I didn't see anyone ask the money to be spent on food banks or soup kitchens, something that is drastically needed in the city, or allotted to, say, festivals that all taxpayers can attend, events that all taxpayers can attend. Or give free parking on city streets instead of trying to grab us for $35. I mean, that would be a nice perk for anybody who's a citizen of Niagara Falls, wouldn't it? So it goes on and on, and I mean, imagine paying for an art project at the skateboard park for $75,000. How I mean, really? And just logically think about it. I was just sitting there thinking about this morning, and just trying to throw some logic at this. Concrete ping pong table for 25,000. And I'm gonna use that one just as a really good example. So they want to put it at the McBain or Gale Center. Now, obviously, it's outside because you wouldn't want to build a concrete ping pong table inside. You could go to Canadian Tire and buy one for $200, brand new, with nets and ping pong paddles and balls and everything. So they're going to go outside. Now think about how often these things are going to be used. First of all, who plays ping pong anymore? I don't know a lot of people. Number two, weather. If you got a stiff wind, you can't play because the ball will be blown all over the place. A ping pong ball is that big around and as light as a feather. So any inclement, what's this guy doing now? Guy, it looks like he just threw a load of junk in the meteor crater. I don't know what he was doing, but I can't see this car blocking my view. But anyway, back to ping pong. So you can't play in the rain. You can't play in the wind. When it's really, really hot, nobody's going to be out there playing. When it's really, really cold, like the winter, nobody's going to be out there playing, or in these late days in September. So you've got maybe 20 or 30 days maximum during the year that you can go out there and probably play ping pong. Maybe 20 or 30 days. It's worse than having a boat. Any kind of inclement weather, you can't use it. Too hot, too cold, windy, winter. So you're paying $25,000 for this. I mean, logically, just use logic. Let's not even talk about the money, $25,000, even $1. These are a waste of money. So you got to take them off the list. And a lot of this other stuff too, like the baskets for frisbee. I mean, you can't throw frisbee in the wind, and you're not going to be out there in the rain playing, or when it's really, really hot doing this thing at $1,000 a basket. Park bench is the same thing. How often they're going to be used? You got to look at some of this stuff and say, like, are these things valid projects? And if you look at them, art at the skateboard park. I mean, $75,000. Hey, put a box of spray paint at the skateboard park, and believe me, that thing will be decorated with art in about 2 days. I mean, so when you look at this list, just look through it. Chess or picnic tables. Who plays chess? I don't know anybody that plays chess anymore. And for the odd person who's they're gonna be outside. And once again, we get hit with the $3 to $5 per location, and we're gonna get hit with the whole thing about weather. You're not gonna sit in the rain outside and play chess. You're not gonna sit in a real hot day in the sun and play chess. You're not gonna probably want to be out there in a real windy day with the wind knocking over the players. I mean, the tokens or whatever you want to call them, the knights and bishops. So, the practicality of a lot of this stuff just isn't there. And the use of them, the limited use, I mean, it's hard to justify spending a dime on any of this. I don't know. That's just me logically thinking in retrospect of yesterday. But thank you at Penny. What the heck was this here? At Penny Brookify. Who for sending in those comments, and there are a few other comments too, good comments. So I'll read some of them off later. But yeah, I mean, go in and do this exercise, and seriously, be responsible with the money. Be responsible with the money. Send City Council a message that we're responsible. We do not want them wasting our money. That's all there is to it. Please stop the insanity. But anyway, what are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do? This is there. We'll see what people say. I don't have the final say on it. That's for sure. So I'm just commenting on it. Now, the other thing that I saw, and I'm going to get to here in a second, is a really neat video on on Facebook. And as soon as I find the page that I've got what it was about, I'm going to tell you about it. And basically, everyone is aware that we have a huge addiction problem in Niagara Falls and in the country. It's epidemic, really, and which also helps to fuel a homeless problem. Whatever society has been doing for the last 20 years to cure this problem or to fix it isn't working because the problem's getting worse. That just tells you that whatever they're doing right now is not working. That's all there is to it. If it was working, the problem would be getting better, but it's not. It's getting worse. So I don't understand why governments and people in general are pursuing these useless avenues to help. Then the saying that insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. That really comes into play with this. I saw a great post on Facebook with a video, and that's what I wanted to talk about. And I will relay it to you here. The comment was from a gentleman, I believe, I think it's in BC, I think. It says, "Are you a drug addict? Have drugs ruined your family, your friendship, your career, your life? Has using made you homeless? Are you so dependent on drugs that you go door to door every night, breaking into people's homes and cars to find loose change to support your habit? Well, the government of Canada is here to help. Help you do more drugs by making it easier and safer for you to do more drugs." And it was followed by a video out of Nanaimo, BC, where automatic free vending style machines dispense drug paraphernalia at the Nanaimo hospital. Crack pipes, tubes, all kinds of stuff like that to anyone that wants them. There's no check on age. You just walk up to this machine, push a button, and drug paraphernalia that you can use to do drugs flops out. You just grab it and go. Nobody's there to ask for ID. Nobody cares how old you are. There's no age check. Nothing. At any time, anyone, kids, adults, whoever, could walk up and get free stuff to do drugs with. There's also instruction booklets that tell you how to do the drugs. So you want to know how to snort cocaine or smoke crack? Well, you got an instruction manual how to do it in there. You just push the manual so you know. So you know how to do it, right? Now, the person that was supervising or, kind of around this machine didn't like the person who was doing it because this wasn't a person. This was a person going up and showing us that this actually exists. This is a true thing. And when she was filming it to put on, to put it on Facebook, well, the lady came up and said, "Could you move away from the machine and not film it?" She goes, "Well, why?" Well, because people are hesitant to come up and use it while you're doing that because they don't want to be on the video. So there must have been a line of people waiting to get free crack stuff and everything else to get there because they were telling her she could just walk away from the machine and film somewhere else. They didn't. They were timid about being on the screen to get their supplies. If you don't see a problem here, well, this is not only enabling these users but aiding and abetting them. I don't know what to say. I mean, what do you say about that? I I don't know. Safe injection centers work the same way. You go in and do your heroin or the drug of your choice, and if you OD, well, there's someone there to save you. They'll give you a shot at Noxalone or whatever it's called. Um, and I mean, is this really what's needed to fix the problem? Safe injection sites that not only enable the drug users but keep them alive after they use. And I mean, is this a good idea? Well, apparently it is because they're all over the place. I don't know what the answer is to this mess society is in, but I do know one thing: the situation is getting worse, and the ways the government are handling it now are not working. I mean, Premier Ford understands the ramifications of safe injection sites and safe supply. Um, and he knows the injection sites are not working, and safe supply is just a way for people to get more and better drugs. They sell the free ones they get to buy better ones. Ford wants to shut these supervised injection sites down, the very sites he opened, and were funded by his government several years ago. He says it's to protect the public safety, which means no site. He's closing down first the sites that are within 200 meters of schools or child care facilities. Of course, the NDP and Liberals don't agree. A report found that there is a connection between an injection site and the rise in crime, drug trafficking, and public disorder in those areas, something that affects every single person, their children, and their quality of life. The reduction in illness and death from overdoses to the select few that are addicted. Um, Apparently, the Liberals and NDP say they override these blights on the people that have to put up with them. And we're seeing that in our city on Summer Street. It's not an injection site, but it's still a housing for this part of society, and it's causing the neighbors there a lot of grief. We saw them at City Council trying to tell City Council what grief it's causing them. And City Council understood their pain. They understood it. We haven't heard what they're going to do about it because it's a regional thing, and they've got to go through a lot of hoops to be able to deal with it. But still, they recognize the fact that it's a problem. I mean, my thought would be close them all down. Don't aid and abet. Don't enable these people. Enabling and abetting these users has not worked. Obviously, it's not worked over the years. They've tried everything and to help them in that, but it just don't work. It's getting worse, the situation. I mean, eventually they're going to die from either an overdose or from other health issues. It's just the way it's going to be. A very low percentage is saved by any of the methods that we're doing now, right? To try to help them because it's getting worse than ever. So we know they're not working. I think it's time for like tough love. Like there's no help for these guys unless they want to be helped or they come in, and part of, getting a place to live and getting some of these safety measures, if you want to call them that, are getting on some kind of a rehab program. Nothing's free. You just can't come in and use them. No, You want to use them, you're welcome, but you have to go into a rehab program to use them. That's how we help you. I mean, I don't see any other way because they're not going to do it on their own, and what we've been doing to try to help them to this point hasn't worked. So we've got to try some new ways to do it, and maybe it's tough love. We got to do a complete 180 and go another way to help them because what we're doing now isn't working. It's getting worse. So I don't know. Anybody have any suggestions out there? Maybe you can throw them in comments on the video when it's up, and we'll discuss them on the show. I'm sure somebody has some ideas out there better than I have. I mean, um, I don't know. I don't know. But obviously, safe injection sites aren't great for the community. Not anywhere they are. And Doug Ford said he's going to close them down within 200 meters of any school or childcare center, and I agree with that. And they should shut them down within 200 meters of anything, any businesses or anything. I mean, it's just sorry, but it's the reality of the situation. That's all I can tell you. Okay, let's get into my second sponsor here, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. And I keep telling you about these beautiful lights when you go down the neighborhood and you see them. But instead of going into the neighborhood, if you don't feel like running around looking for a place, go to their website, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, or check out their Facebook page. They always have the new projects that they're working on there, and you can actually see an example of their work. So their website, of course, is glowstonelighting.com, glowstonelighting.com, like it sounds, or on Facebook, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, and you'll see some of the work they did. Colin Buckborough is the proprietor, and he put just a really beautiful picture of a house all lit up. Some fantastic pictures of this product that he has, and what they are is permanent track lighting for your house. So Colin gets up there with his crew. He attaches this permanent, it's kind of like strip lighting, but all the joints are sealed. Everything's sealed. They're LED lights, really good on power. They're all sealed against moisture and dust. So once they're up there, they're permanent. They stay up there, and you control everything by your phone. So if you want to change the color to orange for Halloween, you just make them orange. If you want them green for St. Patrick's Day, green. If you want them red and green for Halloween, they're built in zones, the strip lighting, so that it's track lighting. That's what they call it. They're built in zones, so you can have each zone a different color. So they're really, really neat, actually. They actually make your house more attractive, more valuable. They light up those zones that are dark so that, you get a little bit of safety involved there, your driveway and your pathways and that kind of thing. And they just make your house look phenomenal. Now, they have a lifetime warranty on these lights. So that's confidence in your product when you can offer something like that. So how do you get a hold of these lights? Well, you call Colin Buckborough at 289-296. No, sorry. Oh boy. 289. Get your pen out. 289-969-1797. And that's it. That's it. You just give him a call. He's going to come over, give you a free estimate, and away you go. If it's a little bit heavy for your bank account, well, you just get the unapproved credit financing. They'll finance it, so you pay monthly for it and enjoy it, before you scoop together the cash you need for it. But they're really, really nice, and they last. No more climbing ladders or any of that stuff. You're going to be totally blown away and impressed when you see what the work that he does. And I just saw a picture on Facebook, and Colin Buckborough's father, Lee. I went to school with him. I went to high school with him, so I know him. But Colin actually was a pitcher for the Seattle Mariners in Major League Baseball. Yeah, pretty interesting. He pitched for the Mariners. So there you go. Neat guy, good guy. Knows his father. Great guy. His father, Big Lee, they call him. And Colin's, and he's a big guy too. He's probably taller than his father. He's got to go 6'4" or 5. He can reach the lights without a ladder, probably. But anyway, give him a call. 289-969-1797. A good guy. He'll come down, give you a quote, and install these professionally. Yeah, support our sponsors. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. He'll be happy. I'll be happy. Everybody will be happy. So, excuse me. I had the best intentions last night of watching the Kamala Harris and Tim Waltz, Tampon Tim, a question and answer period with Dana Bash. Salute from CNN. But for some reason, I couldn't catch a feed. I couldn't get a feed. CNN was broadcasting it, and they weren't broadcasting it live. They were broadcasting a tape rendition of it, and they won't release the transcripts, which I can't blame them because there's probably a lot of nonsense. Out of the whole interview, which didn't last that long, because there's really nothing for her to say. She spoke for about 18 minutes. Now, this is her first press conference since being anointed the Neo, right? The chosen one to run for president on with no votes and no record to go on or anything. And she proved why she has nothing. So it wasn't live, but it was broadcast at 9:00 last night. I couldn't find a feed, so I caught clips of everything they talked about and put it all together. And I don't just subscribe to CNN or Fox News or anything. I just get my stuff from the internet, broadcasts and stuff like that. But I did watch the clips, like I said, and it was really a puff piece of montage where Kamala lied about Trump for about 20 minutes, 18 minutes to be exact. A masterful piece of propaganda. This is what it's being hailed as on a joke of a network. And I'm not saying this, other people are saying this. Interested that Kamala touting this as her being the prosecutor against Trump, the felon. So she's trying to make this into a Dragnet series, right? Prosecutor against the felon. And the one, and she had to bring along Big Daddy Tampon Tim with her. Here's if somebody's running for president. She can't do it herself. She's got to have Tampon Tim with her. Now, this is the first woman president. This is a milestone in the history of presidents. There's never been a woman president. Add to that an East Indian, and Jamaican woman at that. And she couldn't do it herself. She had to bring Tampon Tim, who really sat there like a big dummy. And it's strange that she would want to bring a man when she's touting herself as the first female president. She's not strong enough to do the interview, I guess. That's an insult to women. But he was there, a great rah-rah rally for Harris, all fluff, no stuff. And I don't know, it's just pretty funny to watch these clips of her saying nothing. She says we have to have deadlines that go by time. Well, most deadlines do have a time limit. That's why they're called deadlines. So I don't know what this double talk is. But the interview is a big nothing burger, like her time as VP, a big nothing burger. And I can't imagine how she's going to fare in a debate when she has to do it without canned questions from a friendly Dana Bash and Trump breathing on her like the wicked wolf breathing on Little Red Riding Hood. And, Dana Bash, even one of the questions that Dana asked, she basically fed her the answer. Here's your answers. When she was asking the questions, discuss. And she never even caught on to it. And never even took one of Dana Bash's points and made a point of it. Just totally out to lunch. And he even started off real bad. They couldn't, between Harris and Waltz, answer what they planned to do on day one. They couldn't give an answer, but skirted around the question with a bunch of grandiose plans that's going to take place over the next 4 years if they get elected. But on day one, they have no clue what they're going to do. Pretty simple question. I mean, ask Trump. He'll tell you his plans for day one. He knows exactly what he's going to do. Maybe she can copy him and quote them the next interview she does. If she does another one, because she needs help. But Trump will tell you right there. He's closing the border. He's doing this. He's opening up the Keystone Pipeline on day one. He's gonna drill, baby, drill. He'll tell you exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna stop the wars. right away. He's going to stop the wars. That's before he even gets inaugurated. He's going to take care of that. This guy knows where he's going and what he's going to do in the next 4 years. He can tell you. She couldn't tell you anything, and she was even asked why she's flip flopped on everything, and she couldn't tell them why she did that. She just says, I haven't changed my values. Well, your values are pretty clear. You stated them over the last 4 years. And while you were attorney general and everything else in California, you ruined California. Why can't, they haven't changed? Well, of course they've changed if you're quoting Trump. You might as well put a MAGA hat on. I mean, what the hell, right? Throw a MAGA hat on. Let's go. What are you waiting for? And, Walt's tampon Tim, he's the perfect foil. He acted like a sugar daddy, following the trollop around like a trained dog. He's got no shame in being set up like a dopey coach on some TV sitcom, rah-rahing the unfit dingbat to victory. So, I mean, he's just hanging around. I don't know what the hell he's doing. She thinks that she deserves this nomination and that she deserves to be president. And you can tell just by the way her smugness and everything, Like, you're asking me questions? I'm the best person for the job. I deserve this. I was vice president. Yeah, that's her attitude. It was a disaster. So bad that the media's trying to cover it up. You can't find a video of the whole show. There's no video posted. CNN's, like I said, not going to release the transcript, much like they did for Biden. When Biden got into the psychologist office there and their psychiatrist, and they were trying to check him for dementia, they gave what he said in that, and the guy told him he's an old man with a bad memory, right? But they wouldn't give the transcript, which adds a lot more to it. When he forgot that he was vice president, he forgot that his son was, and all this other stuff. The transcript would have been a beautiful thing to read, but they never released it. So what are you going to do, right? I mean, she couldn't handle 18 minutes. I can't see how she's going to handle a debate. They're going to, they had to prepare for 4 days to do this little thing here, 18 minutes with Dana Bash. She's going to be in seclusion like Biden was for a week before she hits the debate. And that's supposed to be what, September the 10th, September 4th. What's that? Today's the 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd. It's like next Thursday, September 4th, something like that. She's supposed to have a debate on Fox, but she refused to do one on Fox. So now she's waiting for the 10th, I think it is, to do it with ABC News, who is a little bit more friendly towards the Democrats. So it's in. But the reality is, it looks like the honeymoon's over as the polls are starting to shift towards Trump for several reasons. Policies coming in, I'll give them to you if you want. Policies coming out of the Harris-Walz campaign are totally being rejected by America, and even the moderate Democrats are leaving the party. I mean, they don't even accept these radical views that she has with price fixing and everything else, price controls. A shift in her policies, which many are reflecting the Trump platform, calling her a flip-flopper and a thief. 3. Number 2, the denial of democracy by appointing Harris, who has not garnered one single vote in any kind of primary. She was crowned against the wishes for a Democratic nomination and election by the delegates. So they should have went to the DNC. They should have had the delegates voting for who they wanted and let it open for anybody who wanted to run. But no, they appointed her, sidestepping the democratic process and putting her in place, and now they're having a fit. The Democrats are having a conniption. They're in panic mode. Number 4, she exposing what a creep and lunatic her running mate, Tampon Tim, they call him, is. I mean, all these things are to me, it looks like the honeymoons are over and the polls are changing as they get to know these two clowns. 5, the total con job that Kamala is, refusing to take responsibility for the Afghanistan disaster, the border disaster, the economy, 2 wars being waged in the world, the loss of energy dominance, the death of San Francisco in particular, and California in general, and the high rates of crime in major American cities. She don't know anything about it. It's like they wiped her being vice president off the map. I don't know anything about any of this. I never was responsible for any of it. I didn't do nothing. But meanwhile, the truth is, she was vice president. She knew about everything. And she cast the deciding votes on a couple of key issues in the Senate. Of course, when the Senate is tied on the matter, the vice president gets to have the final say and makes the final vote. There's all kinds of videos talking about her stand on everything: fracking, the border, you name it. She's all said it, what she's going to do and what she believes in. Um, Whatever. So it's all there. Number 6, not taking any pressers and basically hiding from the press since the day she was crowned. And, that was her first one last night. It was a real dandy, real dandy. So that was no good. 7, dodging debates, only agreeing to one debate, even though there are 3 planned. The big one is one hosted by Fox News on September the 4th, which she refused to attend, along with the one at the end of September. The only one she agreed to is the one that's being run by friendly ABC News and their hack fake reporters. So that's another reason she's losing her honeymoon. The honeymoon's over. The numbers are starting to fall. I mean, she's the most unpopular vice president in the history of vice presidents. And listening to her vapid gaslighting and lied-filled speeches has given the listeners, they be Democrat or Republican, the notion that she does not have the aptitude to run the country. And also the change in a couple of Democrats over to Republicans to support Trump, Tulsi Gabbard and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So that hasn't helped her either. And I can't wait for the debate. I think she's going to get ruined. And like I say, the Democrats are in panic mode. This is not good for them. So over to the Middle East. I was wondering what that was. There were some rumblings, but it was next door. In the Middle East, this was wild overnight. Israel has added to the list of Hamas leaders that is put on the expired list. Yesterday, they took out one Mohammed Jabbar, leader of Hamas in the West Bank. Slowly but surely, Israel's taken out the big leaders of the terrorist group. Of course, there are people stepping up to take their place, but the proposition as being known as a leader of Hamas is not good. It's not looking good because before October 7th, the leaders were hanging around having a good time. Now they're tracked down like animals. They're tracked and they're killed. And this guy was blown up by a drone, I think. It showed it, actually, this vehicle being blown into 1,000 pieces, smithereens, as they say. And they just keep clocking these guys. And eventually, you got to hope that if you get rid of enough of them and nobody wants to take their place because they're afraid for their life, the war might end. But I don't think the war is going to end until a savvy guy like Trump gets in there and puts sanctions on Iran to stop them from giving these guys money and supporting them, whether it's Hezbollah in the north and southern Lebanon or the Houthis in the south. And the Suez Canal is virtually closed now, right, because of them. Or your Hamas, who are trying to hold on to Gaza, but they're getting obliterated. And, one by one, they even got a guy in Tehran there a month ago, Haniyeh. And nowhere's safe for these guys. Nowhere's safe. They can't run. They can run, but they can't hide. Mossad will find them and get them. So that's what's happening in the Middle East. Not a good situation, really, but it's good they're taking out these leaders as they decimate their leadership. They might just decide that laying down their arms and giving up the hostages is a better deal than meeting Allah and seeing the 72 virgins. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But that was an interesting development that just came over the news this morning while I was watching it. Okay, so what else have we got here? Well, I'm going to be just about done for the day. I think it's Friday. I'm going to get out of here early. Although I never get out of here early anyway. By the time I do everything I have to do, it's 1:30. But I think I'm going to end the show a little bit early today. And Gary, I'll make it up to you. My buddy Gary Wilkins, every time I end a little bit early, he sends me a message saying, "You owe me 5 minutes." I love the guy. Great guy, Gary. And yeah, I'll give you back your 5 minutes next week after the holiday. Oh, yeah. But no show on Monday. I'm taking the holiday, but we'll see you Tuesday with some more trash talking. And yeah, you never know. Peter Dichter may be in here after a long weekend. We have lots to talk about, and Peter's great at it. And we still want to do a 3-hour show. I got to figure out the logistics because I don't know who else is on during the day. But we'd love to do a 3-hour show and take phone calls. So it'll be a call-in show. You guys can all call in. Yeah, you can all call in. So we'll open the phone lines. I won't be doing a video. We'll just do 3 hours of straight talk on subjects around the city and anything else. And we'll take your calls, and you can just call in and tell us exactly what you think about anything, and we'll discuss it. How's that sound to you guys? Send me a message on the video or on my Facebook page in Your City, Your Voice, and let me know if you think that's a great idea. And if we can plan it, and we can plan it for a time when people are available to give us calls, they can call in, and I think that would be fantastic. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. 3 hours of nonstop Niagara Falls world events, everything. You give us your opinion on everything, no matter where you're from. So I think that'd be awesome. So we're going to try to put that together for you. One big 3-hour show. Everybody can call in, and I hope I hear from my guys, Mike Cushman and Gary Wilkins and Glenn Botting out there on the East Coast. My cousin Glenn out in New Brunswick, and I don't know, Paul Vickery down in the villages in Florida. My golf guy, anybody, have something to say. So who knows? If it's radio, maybe I'll get 3 guys in there, Pete and somebody else to talk about stuff with. With video, it's a little bit different because the studio's really not made for video. I'm kind of doing this on my phone, but with radio, it's different on the 4680Q internet radio because I've got a mic there, a mic there, a mic here, and we can all get in on it. It's tough to get 3 people in on it with the system that I have. Drew Deeks does a good job with it. He's got a really nice professional camera he does it with, so it kind of works a little bit better for it. But we'll get something together. Don't worry. Now, I think school starts on Tuesday. I could be wrong. I don't have kids that go to school, but I think it does. So I'm telling you, no matter what day it starts, but if it's Tuesday, slow down. Slow down when you go through school zones. I won't be here Monday to tell you. So slow down when you go through school zones. Take it easy. Kids are all excited. They're going back to school. They're seeing their friends. They're running around like maniacs. All it takes is one not to pay attention. And we know kids, their attention spans are low and they're out in traffic. And you don't want to be the one that's speeding through there and doing any harm. Believe me, it's not good. It's not good karma. Slow down. Take it easy. Watch out for the kids. And yeah, just be safe. Have a safe Labor Day. Don't drink and drive. Don't do anything crazy. Have a great Labor Day. Enjoy a barbecue. Enjoy something nice with your family. Have a great Labor Day, and don't do anything crazy. We don't want to see anybody in jail or getting injured or even dying, like the drunk driver that hit Johnny Goudreau and his brother there. Like what a waste. But yeah, we don't want to see any of that. We want everybody to be safe and everybody to have a great long weekend and come back on Tuesday listening to Your City, Your Voice, and giving us your comments, calling in, whatever. Anyway, my name is Paul Kalemir. This is Your City, Your Voice coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. We will see you on Tuesday. Please support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. And if you're watching the video, give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down, hit the notification button, subscribe to the channel. I have 50 subscribers almost now, which is fantastic. I want more. We need a couple hundred. We got to get it to a couple hundred subscribers. Let's get more people talking, more people going, because we're only 2 years away from an election for this city. And by that time, we got to have everybody on board, getting ready to vote and letting council know what they want and what they expect from them and getting rid of the dead weight, bringing in new people we think can do the job. But you're not going to be able to do that if you don't know stuff. You got to know what you're doing and who you want to vote for and why you want to vote for them. So let's get involved. And part of that is listening to this show and subscribing to the channel so you know when we do have a show. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. Thank you for listening and really appreciate it. And support our sponsors. Everything's great. Have a great weekend. Have a great long weekend. I'll talk to you Tuesday. Trash Talking Tuesday. We'll see if Peter wants to come in and do a bit of trash talking. And then I got to get Chris Rodriguez in one of these days too. He's busier than a one-handed paper hanger. What do you call that? One-handed wallpaper hanger or whatever? One-armed wallpaper hanger? There's a saying for that. But he's busy at his restaurant. God bless him. Good for him. He's a great guy and a good proprietor at the old Fire Hall restaurant in Niagara Lake. St. David's, we call it. Take care, everybody. We will see you next week. Ciao, ciao.